Greetings, you human-shaped techs created by someone with a serious sense of humour, and welcome back to Terratech with me, Lathrix, and of course, welcome to the episode where finally we're building a new permanent tech. We've been focusing on the base, doing all the missions and everything else, but really, my whole goal of having this completely covered in techs, and permanent ones at that, which we simply don't swap out of all the time, we haven't really been focusing on at all. So today, we're finally making my las tank. We're going to be using the Hawkeye Cyclops lasers, and making ourselves a proper Hawkeye tank, able to do the combat missions without the need to constantly fly around, because although flying around is fun, it's also completely broken in this game and makes everything a bit too trivial. Although we are of course going to be keeping our battleship over there, we're also going to need something a bit more down to earth. Not to say this won't be brokenly strong, because these lasers are fantastic when you stack them, but at least the enemies can actually hit us occasionally. Maybe. We'll see. So whilst I scrap stuff and craft stuff to make ourselves a proper battle tank, I do have a question for you all. How about the idea of having a permanent tech for every corporation, which is the opposite of what that corporation normally represents, which means we have something like a Geocorp flyer, for instance. We have a tanky venture craft, and things like that. I think that's going to be a really fun idea, because I don't really know how I'd go about doing some of these techs, although I'm not quite sure exactly what the opposite of, let's say, GSO would be, since GSO is so normally general purpose. So any suggestions are very welcome in the comment section, certainly. So, one permanent tech actually doing the thing the corporation is meant to do, and then one which is the utter opposite. Maybe a really speedy Hawkeye ground craft? I don't really know. Definitely a ground, better future craft. There's a lot to consider. Now, I actually have to focus and get some stuff built, because we're going to need a lot of stuff for this. Hey everyone, Future Lathrix here, as is tradition at this point with this series, and I'm here to say that thankfully now everything is going according to plan. The computer is now working absolutely perfectly, better than it has done in a number of years, and I'm now back to recording full-time now that I'm back from England. So, today I've been recording nothing but Terratech, now editing it all down, and from here on, I should be back to my usual schedule with the more heavily edited videos with loads of progress being made. Today was more of a chill kind of video with a new tech being built, and honestly, a lot of progress being made despite this. But going forwards, a lot more stuff is going to get done. And of course, I'm also here to say, if you enjoy these videos, then likes and comments help out massively. The channel is doing better than it has done in such a long time, with so many new faces around the channel, and I just have to say a huge thank you to all of the support for this series. It has been truly lovely. And now, back to the past. Probably gonna have to do a lot of missions as well, honestly. We don't really have the resources after building up the bridge for everything I want here. So hopefully we can make a craft and build it as we get more resource. Probably gonna focus on lots of Hawkeye missions. It was so weird, nothing was working correctly, then I simply took everything off and put it back in, and now it's working again. Essentially, it's the component factory equivalent of turning it off and on again. But now I have all these floating around. Sometimes I feel like I understand Terratech, and then other times I feel like me. Knowing nothing. Okay, all the problems are fixed anyway. It still overcools a little bit sometimes, but it's not really causing any problems to the system, so that's fine. Now, the issue I have is I don't know how many weapons I actually want. We could go with 10, so 2 layers of 5, or we could go like this. So we have the 5 in the middle, 3 at the back, we have 8, or we could have another 3 at the bottom here. I think that would look kind of interesting. 3, 5, 3. We do have the resources. I've been scrapping lots of stuff, and I've got a lot of resource for these weapons. I mean, that does look really cool. Yeah, I think 3, 5, 3 is probably going to look really interesting on the front of this thing. Though if we leave it as 3, 5, it would be easier to armor up the bottom. No, 3, 5, 3, then we can have tracks running along where the side weapons are here and here. Yes, I have a plan. Most of that made probably little sense, because I'm imagining things in my head. So I've made all the guns from scratch, I made the tracks from scratch, I made a couple more as well, but I'm not going to make every single one of the 2 blocks from scratch. I made like 10 of them, and then got really sick of how long it took, so I bought like 70, without realising they're really, really expensive. Like 900 each. Yeah, that in addition to some of the armor blocks as well, which I just quickly purchased, like the armor plating. Yeah, maybe I should have just made everything from scratch, but oh well, at least this is going to save me loads of time, and all the weapons are made from scratch. I also figured out the problems which were happening in the base. It was to do with the refinery positions of all things. So now that's solved, I'm not going to get that issue again. You know what? I actually like how this looks already, so this is going to be easy to make look good. It just needs to be able to turn on the spot quickly so that we can fire, since I'm not going to have any weapons in the background. In the back of the craft. Why am I saying everything weirdly today? I've been like this all day. Friends have commented on how weird I've sounded today. And I always sound weird, so something's really going on right now with me. Normally I'd skip this bit, but yep, that placement summarizes how I'm feeling at the moment. You're seeing a weird Terratech-related mental breakdown. If possible, I would like this to be 100% Hawkeye, so I am going to try and make some batteries as well. Need the batteries. We don't really need any more shields. These are going to be massive, and the tank isn't actually that ridiculously huge at the moment. It's kind of how I want to keep it. If it's not too big, it means getting from mission to mission is going to be a lot easier. I don't have to keep on spawning this thing in, then despawning it. And it just about can get across the bridge. Scrap everything. Shields in place. We'll need some armor and some more battery power, and that's pretty much it. We're good to go. It's always nice to build things from scratch with your own 3 hands. Some armor on the outside. Doubled up the tracks because I noticed I had a few spare anyway, so just quickly made a couple more. Scrapped even more stuff. We have been here for way too long. I am itching to get out and destroy stuff. So now I'm just going to quickly seal it all up, and then I want to test out how good these lasers even are. There's a good chance I'll test them out and realise I don't like them. So let's just finish this thing to at least a reasonable level, shall we? And hopefully next time when I record, it won't be dark again. That doesn't do as much damage as I originally expected, but it looks very cool and does core out the enemy. It definitely doesn't do as much damage as I expected. I might need to pair it with some other weapons. Though, I don't know how good it is versus shields and such. The actual bulk damage of it might be better than it looks. There's scrap on the floor here. I can see some in the distance as well. Does that mean scrap comes back? I definitely didn't miss this many pieces of scrap when I cleared up the whole area. Okay, so apparently scrap regenerates very slowly at the moment. Or things have just been weird because the game is weird at the moment while playing on the experimental patch. No, there's another one over there as well. Yeah, I definitely didn't miss multiple of them. I flew over several times after to double check. Interesting. So the other good thing with the laser is small targets are going to be easy to kill, which all of my other weapons have really struggled with. This thing is pinpoint accurate and moves quickly. We are always going to be hitting the target as long as I can turn fast enough to keep up with it, which I can. It's a very satisfying weapon, but efficient, still very up in the air. And as you can probably tell, my craft isn't yet finished. I'll probably end up with the SCU somewhere on the back of this thing, so I don't have to place an SCU every single time. But we'll see as we go. We also currently have no way of charging ourselves, so I might put down a couple of the Hawkeye solar panels, since they're quite compact. But right now, I just want to go and do some missions, because we are really running out of resources at this point. I probably have maybe 300,000 total block bucks worth of things to sell, and obviously I don't want to sell things, I want to scrap them, so yeah, we need to do some stuff. I've been just sitting away at my base for way too long. And more scrap. Who keeps dumping scrap on my territory? I really love the Hawkeye solar panels. That looks so cool. And then when you're not connected to the ground, it just looks like armor. Okay, I've got to be honest, I've been just watching this open and close for a good 5 minutes at this point, before even talking about it. I'm a simple creature, okay? Not the best shield test there, since it had so little health. I've added some shotguns to the front, so if we get too close to an enemy, at least we're doing some pretty decent damage, honestly. Like that, for instance. Ow. Still very happy with how it controls, though. Really happy with that. Yeah, so shotguns on the front, a bit more armor, start to armor up the sides a bit more. Now, one thing I'm tempted to do is move this middle row back so I can make it smooth out a bit more, because right now it is very obviously a sudden step. But I want all the lasers nice and at the front, because they're not super long range. They're not short range, but they're not long range either. So having them at the very front makes it so I don't need to be so close to all the enemy's attacks as well. Sergeant Smash wants us to take out a turret. You know what? Tracks are not fun on ice. They're just not. This thing is so heavy as well. It just slides so much. Okay, there we go. There's no point taking out the small ones because they're going to be able to just recoup. So as soon as we get in range, just focus completely on the turret. Come on, there we go. Back up, back up, back up right now. So actually, damage-wise, that was pretty good. I think we need more batteries in this thing, though. Though we do have decent armor on the sides and everything. Added some more armor to the top, and you can probably tell I'm now red. A nice shiny red, which I rather like. There we go. Everything was fine as I slide into position. Why can't I anchor hit? I don't even know what's going on right now. What did we get, though? What's that? Oh, the Fortress Hover. Oh, yeah, you can make some cool hover stuff with Hawkeye. One thing I'm noticing with the lasers, which is really good for us, is that it provides a lot of scrap. Since we're not really destroying all that many blocks when we destroy things, as you can see, outside of the explosions of their own stuff, a lot of it is being left behind. So as soon as we hit the cab, it's game over. No splash damage. That was a terrible example of what I was just saying, but you get the point. We also now have the next of the Hawkeye missions, and it is Black Op, White Wind, destroy 50 techs. One of the more boring of the story missions, but definitely one of the more efficient ones. So we're going to try and get that done and do a few other missions. So if we're going to do that anyway, I think we should focus on Better Future and Venture, try and get some more experience into both of them. Still waiting for the next reticule research mission. If I see that, I'm going straight for it. So far, I am really happy with the craft. It's a bit of a block, as to be expected, honestly, but it turns well, the damage is decent, and it's fun. And that is the main things there. Oh, I really don't like how much of a step this is. This bit's interesting. I've made it like go slopey here, then it has like a little divot down here. I'm going to connect all this back here so it's all smooth. This is just a block. But it's a very efficient block. Defeat the outpost invaders. I've also added some more armor now to the outside and everything, so it looks a little bit more coherent. Oh. Okay, well, missiles aren't Better Future there. You're a bit cheaty, aren't you, mate? Wow, yeah, the lack of range of our weapons is going to be a problem. Why must everything be missiles? Okay, well, you went bye-bye very quickly. Oh, please burn through its shields quickly. Don't want to get too close. We'll be hit by the outpost as well. Okay. Just about survived 3 missile things in a row there. Lots of junk all over the place, so I'm very happy with that. You know, I can't even remember what the max Better Future stuff is. It's been a while since I've used Better Future stuff for, well, anything, honestly. Well, we also got a base. What's the base made of? Got a little laser on top, got a couple of lasers along the bottom. Ooh, actually, are those the disc lasers? No, not the more advanced ones, but lots of stuff there. And inside we have... Whoa! All of the gyros of all time. Now, those are actually worth a fortune, so... Yeah, very happy. That there's going to be scrapped down and melted into pure happiness. I'm a winner! Ooh. I never did get round to building a craft only using the Sonic Lancers. Will I ever? Perhaps one day. Goodbye, Lamp. I loved you. Oh, Lamp and Lamp 2. Tiny Tech counts for 2 for the mission. Very nice. So this mission is a really good example of why the lasers are good. Whoa, that looked really weird. Just so good at killing small targets. Which is actually what the big craft really struggled with. So this craft is more of a bully than anything else. It's also very good at destroying trees. I don't know if I'll ever get any use out of that, but it's nice to know that nature is no match for the tank. I also think the mix of the standard Hawkeye colouring and then the red Hawkeye colouring is probably the way I'm going to go. I've got to be honest, the SCU on the back of this thing, I think it looks cool. I'm trying to make it look all open, like this is all exposed and everything. But its placement can be a little bit annoying sometimes. Anything in front of me will get stuck on all of my weapons, and it's a bit of a pain to get them off. Bits of corpse just all over me. Generally not a good thing. Whoa, my FPS suddenly just dropped dramatically. Oh, I can see why. Hello, hundreds of guns. This is a really bad angle. Oh, no, I'm targeting the wrong thing. That's why I wasn't doing anything. I was targeting just a single little cab then. Discretion. is advised. Ow. Yeah, that just tore apart our shields. Just so many little kinetic shells. Now, thankfully, I'm still nowhere near done adding the batteries to this thing. I need to go back and make some more Hawkeye batteries. I don't want any other types of batteries. I want loads of Hawkeye ones. And the armor did hold up. Nothing broke. It was a loss. It was a loss that made me feel okay about losing. That's what I'll tell myself. Definitely nowhere near as strong as using missiles and explosives and everything, but I'm still happy enough with the lasers so far. Oh, that's going to be brutal once we get closer. Come on. See, the problem is, lasers on their own, I'm finding, do have one big problem, though. They like to knock blocks off the enemy, which is great, but once the block's knocked off, it actually has increased health. It's a weird mechanic in Terratech, that is how it works. And it kind of gets stuck on the target, and then you're burning through that afterwards. You can actually see it happen a lot if you focus on the enemy when we're attacking them. And often I'm just holding down fire, and you can see the one block just absorbing all the damage. So what I might need to do is change how I play a little bit. Wow, did I just get completely outplayed here by this tiny little thing? No matter what weapons you're using, if it is Lathrix using them, the dumb factor will always be here. Can I get them with a shotgun? There we go. But you need to change how I play, just keep on moving so I'm not always hitting the exact same spot. Probably would be a big benefit. Things I learned. The lasers can't target directly down. I honestly thought they could go a bit further down than they do, but they don't. So all I need is some small weapons on the side here to aim at very small techs. I already do have the shotguns for that, but I don't think that's good enough. Maybe just some really basic weapons like the burst guns or the machine guns, things like that, just to deal with that kind of stuff. In addition, some small weapons on the back wouldn't go amiss. I could always put lasers there, honestly. And yeah, I'm fairly confident about the tankiness of this craft once it has some more batteries. What's that over there? There's a question mark there. That's something. Oh, that's the loot we just got and I completely ignored. Oh, lovely. That is actually fantastic. Anytime we get a block of any resource from Hawkeye, I'm very happy because that's a lot of that resource. That literally split in half then in the end. And also proves my point about if the enemy's moving or I'm moving around, it's a lot better for these weapons. They're definitely more of a side weapon. I'm waffling a lot today, I've noticed. Yeah, this isn't going to work. It's a lot smoother than I expected, though. Okay, let's build ourselves a little jumping thing. How about a bike? Do I have some good-looking wheels? I do. Let's build ourselves a stunt bike. So my other goal today, as you can probably tell, is trying to get at least one of the other corporations leveled up a little bit. The tank is honestly almost done. I am surprisingly happy with it, to be perfectly honest. It's a bit of a block, but it handles really well. It's super fun to use. I'm happy with it. The other goal is, yeah, just to level up one of the different corporations, and I think Venture is the one I'm going to go with, because I haven't really done anything venture-y. Now, how are we actually going to make this bike work? So the ion drive's at the bottom. That's going to try and push us up because the center of mass is about here-ish between these two blocks. However, there's a gyroscope fighting that. This thing moves actually pretty well. It's on the ground. Whee! Close. Okay. Oh, no. And thankfully, it's very, very quick. It doesn't turn very quickly, but it's very, very fast. So yeah, getting out of danger is at least fairly quick. Oh, it wants to fly constantly. It's actually really fun to use, but yeah, turning would need to be massively improved. Ooh, how about we put something on to control its pitch? Now, there's many ways to do this a lot easier. For instance, a hover glitch craft, or a hovercraft, or anything with wings. But I want a floaty, floaty bike. Okay, on the front we have some of these adjustment thrusters. These can control the pitch of the thing, as you can see. Let's go. Pitching up. There we go. Didn't pitch up hard enough, but still just about made it. Oh wow, this thing really wants to just fly. It's kind of interesting when you want to make hybrid craft, how difficult it is to just not make a true flyer, because things in this game really want to fly. Just all the time. Ooh, monster wheels. Ooh, I do love those. And a birthday cake. Thank you. Wow, yeah, this thing just really wants to take off. It's super fun to use, though. Is this more fun than my plane? Kind of, yes, because it's a fight to keep it on the ground. Some of the different paint schemes alter how armor looks. For instance, the camo paint scheme has this really cool looking armor here. And the red and black paint scheme, the Shogun, looks like that. I really like both of those. I think, though, we are going to stick with the red and black and the just standard colour schemes. Do I have any more of the small pieces of armor? Yes, I do. Perfect. What's in the way there? Oh, yeah, I did that really weirdly, didn't I? So I want this to be open. It has 3 cabs there. I know exposing them is a bit weird, but I think it looks cool. Then we have armor here. I'm going to change these 2 then. I want to keep these because it kind of frames the SCU. Oop, and I need to help out Ant Farm. Thankfully, this time on a nice flat piece of terrain where my weapons do best. Don't have to kill a lot of very small craft. Yeah, I definitely need a small weapon just to take out cabs like this. Single cabs. Also, I bounce more than I expected. Maybe a gyro might be nice. The tracks are weirdly bouncy, and that messes up the aim of the lasers. Not something I really considered to be a problem. Well, considered would be a problem. But here we are. So, I've never read this, I think. One of my kids has stolen one of my fastest techs. We need to chase them down and teach them a lesson. Catch and destroy the tech to scare them straight. But you'll need to be quick. If it drags on too long, they'll think they can get away with anything. I'm hunting down your kid and destroying the thing they're in, hopefully not destroying them. I think that just goes with the theory that there's actually no one in these techs and it's all just controlled from elsewhere. But then why do the cabs have windows? Because surely you could have, like, cameras on the outside which wouldn't be as intrusive and big. Can someone answer me that? Are there actually people in any of these techs? Or is it all just automated and drones and stuff like that? I'm of the theory that it's all being controlled from elsewhere. Because then it makes sense that you're not being destroyed every time your tech gets destroyed. Right? Right. Probably should have swapped to the bike. Or anything with speed. Oh, no, never mind. I'm sorry to say, but your child is a bit of a dum-dum. It went towards me. This doesn't look friendly. Really do need to build a venture thing soon. Oh, and look, an ice cream sundae. Lovely, there we go, grade 3. Got some more weapon options and everything good in the world. Congratulations. Thank you. Now, just to go and finish off the Hawkeye mission I had, which is to destroy 50 techs. We are really close already. Then, we'll call it a day, because I am very happy with the progress we made. I had a very limited amount of time today, and we've got a lot of stuff done already. Next episode, I'm planning to just be recording for a few days straight, getting loads of stuff sorted out, and that's going to be a load of fun as well. But it's been too long since I've been in Terratech. I also now realise I think I said something wrong earlier about blocks falling off techs. Yeah, I don't think they get a health boost when they fall off. It's just a matter of they only need to take a certain percentage damage before falling off. At least techs which aren't you, because the player doesn't have the same rules. And then it just feels like there's a lot more health. But you know what? I could be wrong about that as well. I honestly can't remember. When I heard that last, it was a very, very long time ago. Oh, I maxed out. Oh, for a second there, I thought I was maxed out for Venture. That was really weird. Let's go and do this one. Punks. Do Bounty Hunter and then Punks. Is Bounty Hunter just a single tech again? Collect the bounty within the time limit. The target is stolen from us. This won't stand. Yeah, the more normal one. And I'm going the wrong way because I looked at wrong things on the map. That might have been the easiest mission I've ever done. They have spawned in the most awkward place. Climbing everything else today has been fine, but no, you have to be floating above literally spikes. Come on, come to me. That's it, you outrange me, but just get your butt over here. Wow. Well then. Yep, that proves that lasers are great for getting scrap, because if they hit the right spot, they instantly win. There's absolutely no splash damage. Oh, and we got the Hawkeye mission done as well. Absolutely perfect. Couldn't have asked for a better end there. Look at all those parts. That is glorious. So with that, I'm afraid I am all out of time for today's video. I do promise that future episodes will be once again, like the first few episodes of this series, a lot more impactful of how much stuff we get done, because there is so much stuff I still want to do, and they are going to take hours upon hours, days upon days, and now I can actually record again, properly, full-time. It means I can get those videos done. Today I was just getting back into the swing of things, making a craft I've been promising to make for a while, and honestly just having a lot of fun. I really do hope you've enjoyed, and of course, if you have, then likes, favourites, shares, comments, all that good stuff, helps out me, helps out the channel, and most importantly, shows that Terratech is a series you wish to see continued in the future. I do love being back with this game. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. But now, it's time for me to start recording the new Stellaris full playthrough, because it's time to get poisonous.